don't hear myself through my headphones.
Yes, man. Like, I feel real good about this right now.
Pay attention, because you are now listening to Permission to Speak Freely.
Hey, if you're a new listener, welcome.
Welcome.
Nothing more. We don't need to introduce ourselves. Just go to episode 1 if you're a new listener and just listen to episode 1. You know who we are.
Let's go.
This is the Permission to Speak Freely podcast, and I am super excited to be back, man.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't even want to spend too much time in pre-pro just because I'm excited to be back. Sometimes we take 30 to 40 minutes, talking about, it might not seem like it.
I know,
but
right?
we take like 30 to 40 minutes talking about what we going to talk about. But not today, man. We just going to go in.
Go.
I do have on a kind of thick, kind of fit shirt made by my boy, Joey Gonzalez, Thick Boy Pinoy. I hope I'm saying it right. And I got a camp hat, of course. So I'm definitely representing some sellers that's doing what they got to do as far as this Camp Cartel. So you can follow Camp Cartel on Instagram. You can follow Kinda Thick, Kinda Fit on Instagram. These both my boys. Joey, he a DC man like you.
Hey, man, hold up. Back this up real quick, man. So if any of you guys out there want to send me something to wear.
This stuff costs money, man.
I'll pay for it, man. But I just ain't got nobody hollering at me, man. Somebody want me. Hey, I pay for it, man.
Yeah,
just,
man. We gotta get you out the San Fran hat, man.
Yeah,
get you
man.
One of these sellers.
I represent San Fran though, but
this stuff costs, man.
Yeah,
It's
man.
all about support. Well, Joey, I had to pay for shipping with this. I sent Joey some swag when we put out some Permission to Speak Freely stuff. So he might owe you a shirt, man.
Man, holla at your boy Joey. And you a DC man? Let's go, Joey. Holla at your
DC
boy.
one, man. Yeah, for Chief, man. It's like 7 years or something like that. But
Nice.
let's start off with me saying I'm on duty. So I got the duty phone, right? So if you listening to the podcast and this phone ring, I have to answer it, right? So so just be prepared. You know what I'm saying? I'm not muting. I'm not doing nothing. I'm going to answer it. You're not going to hear what the other person say. I'm going to probably sound super nervous because I'm staying in UI and I don't know what the hell is going on. You know what I'm saying? Like we had an emergency yesterday.
I tell you one thing, man. What a good duty, man. You know what I'm saying? You could be in your crib, you could be chilling, man, and your duty day consists of a duty phone, man. What a day, man. That's what I'm talking about, man.
How are y'all duty days?
Oh, my bad. I don't got no duty day.
Yeah.
You got me on that one, man.
Yeah. Look, I knew that was coming, man. But look, so check it out. Look, I'm on duty, right? I had a duty phone yesterday. I do site visits. That's, the job. I do site visits. So I had to do a site visit. So I'm at Bethesda, the hospital, right? You could get lost. I don't know if you ever been to Bethesda over here on the East Coast, but you could get lost on that base, and then you could get lost in that hospital. So I'm going to visit a seller that I know. I'm going to go talk to him, holler at him. He moving around. He one place, he another place. So now I'm like just nervous and trying to visit him. Mid visit, I get a phone call, like when I'm still doing the assessment before I even go look for the seller. I know I get a phone call about an issue, like a security issue, and I'm the UI. The dude that called me, he like super charged up. This is such and such. This going on. And I'm like, oh, man, like, what do I do? So I call my man who actually got, like, the qualified watch that. They're like, hey, this going on, boom. And I got in a, like, assumption of what I'm supposed to do. He like, yeah, you good. Just text, just shoot a text to chief of staff. You good to go. We good. You know what I'm saying? So I do that. And then the other dude called me back again, this civilian dude. He's like, hey, right number. I'm like, what? Like, I don't know what. Now, mind you, I'm lost in Bethesda now. Like, so I'm lost in Bethesda and I'm trying to process. I'm like, what do you need me to do? Right number. I'm like, right number. Like, what is this? Like, James Bond? So he was like, write a phone number down. I was like, oh, okay. Like, I could be here to say. I was like, all right, as a reminder, I'm the UI. He's like, well, where's the qualified guy? And now I want to get into like how like everything that would normally be normal is not normal when it's an issue. You know what I'm saying? So the qualified dude, he has something personal to take care of, right? So I'm like, I'm the UI, so I got the phone. That's normal. That's what normally happens. The UI take the phone. You good to go. But as I'm saying that, the qualified dude got something personal to take care of. I'm like, oh, this don't sound right now. And this my guy, he listened to the podcast, so he go hear this. I'm like, yeah, he taking care of something. And that's so normal. He's like, oh, well, we might have to talk to him too. He's like, yeah, I need you to get on the phone. Go find somebody in the hospital, get on the phone so you could call me. I call him, he don't answer. So I call him like 2-3 more times, he don't answer. Meanwhile, while all this going on, this phone number is like a phone number that's like somewhere that we need to find out where it is and take it off whatever list that is, because everybody calls this number. So this other dude calls this number. He looking for somebody in the Army. You know, and that's all I could really say. So he looking, so while I'm on the phone, this dude's looking for somebody in the Army. And I'm like, hey, you know who you calling? He's like, yeah. You the, I'm RDO. He's like, you the RDO, right? He's like, I called Chaplain. He gave me your number. I'm like, damn, well, you meant to call me then. So you know, like, what do you need? He's like, you know, he trying to get in contact with somebody that he ain't heard from in weeks or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, man, like, how do I, like, do, so I call the qualified. I'm like, yeah, what do I do here? He's like, we could look the person up. And he's like, yeah, we're going to get these kind of phone calls, you know? So now I'm like distraught. Because now I'm at where I'm thinking about like Vanessa Guillen and some of those situations where people be like, yeah, well, we called the phone number that they had and the person couldn't help us. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm thinking like, damn, I don't want to be the person that you called when you was looking for somebody and I wasn't, you know, able to help. So now I'm like putting emphasis on the UI. Like, yeah, you know, I'm the UI. You know what I mean? I'm not the qualified, you know, guy. I'm not the qualified guy. Well, where's the qualified guy? The qualified guy, you know, he got something going on right now. I got it. I'm supposed to be holding it down. Like, talk to me. What you got, man? You know, then they might say, well, you know, again, like, as a reminder, I'm the UI. You know what I'm saying? But we worked it out. The security issue got worked out. The issue with the person looking for so the dude wound up calling me back. Man, I'm at home, you know, it's a duty, but you at home. So I'm like with my wife, man, this dude calls me and he's like, he had like a 30 to 30 minute conversation with me about this person he was looking for, man. Now I'm like, dang, we gotta be the shoulder to lean on. And it's a whole lot with this, you know, and then I'm like, well, you know, the person is Army and I'm Navy. So now I thought about it more. I'm like, we might not even be able to find this guy in our system. He's like, yeah, I understand and all that. I'm like, man, I'm going to try my best to help you just because I don't want to be. And always, like, when people, again, like when you watch those docs and people be like, well, we called the base and they couldn't find our seller, or we called the base, they couldn't find this person. Mm-hmm. And that sound crazy as hell. Like, just like I was talking about with the duty, me being a UI, having a phone sounds crazy from the outside. But when you working and you're a part of it, you understand. Like, that's what's supposed to happen. I got the phone. My guy a phone call away. I could just call him if I need help. We good to go. I'm a senior chief. Like, that's, it's entrusted in us to hold that responsibility. That's easy work stuff. Yeah. But when a story comes out during the investigation and you got 60 minutes and them over there, it wasn't even a qualified watchstander that was holding the phone when they called looking for their dead whoever, and you like, it don't sound right. It don't look right. And that was the same. Yeah, that was the same thing with when you finding out people calling a base. Yeah, we called looking for such and such, and they didn't know where she was. Like 1,000 people on the base. Somebody could be at the exchange. Somebody could be at so many places, but it's like it's never a thing until it's a thing. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I was thinking about when I was on watch. So I'm on duty. So if you're a listener and we pause or we stop or something like that, it's because I gotta answer this duty phone. So bear with us here.
Yeah. So yeah, man, I want to talk real quick, man, before we get started also about our guests. You know, we've been having some real issues with some guests, man, coming on the pod, man. Like, I just want you guys, I just want the world to know out there, man, we've been trying to get some guests. We had some pretty good ones, man. We had a recruiter lined up. We had a CMC lined up. And, man, every time we have lined up, something didn't happen. Mostly technically, though. You know what I mean? With the CMC, man, he was just fumbling his shit out. I know he gonna be listening to man. So we did like a probably one of our longest podcasts. I'm talking about good info. I'm talking about, man, you guys out there in the world would enjoy this pod, man. But the whole time we was doing it, first he was fumbling with his phone. Don't be mad I said this, man. You was fumbling with your phone the whole time. And then on top of that, none of his shit recorded. None of it recorded. So the whole time, the only thing you're going to hear is me and Damo, and then I guess you'll hear us pause when he talking, and then it was just like crazy.
And the thing alerted us too, like, you know, the app. So we use an app to record so we could get video and audio. And all you need to have is Wi-Fi, a laptop, and a way that you could listen and speak, right? So normally some AirPods or AirPods or whatever you have could get it done, right? Yeah. But it's better to have a laptop. I think the app just now created an app where you could use a phone. But weeks ago, it's laptop, Wi-Fi, something to listen and something to talk on, right? And, dude, I'm realizing, like, how many people don't have, like, I'm thinking that's, like, simple, you know, stuff. But even as I'm talking about other podcasts and doing some other stuff outside of ours, I'm hearing like a lot of people like, well, I don't have a laptop, dude. I don't have it. And I'm like, that's crazy. I didn't know it that like some families only have like one laptop. You know what I'm saying? And it's not like people not poor or broke. It's just that's the way the dynamic is. Like I have a laptop and my wife, we both got Apple laptops. And we both use our laptops. Like we never have to share. You know, but it's just crazy hearing that, man. It's just, you know, and I don't mean to make it serious, but it's crazy just knowing that, man. I'm surprised. Yeah. So our first guest, like you said, CMC, good pot, good, like it was good. I mean, it would have been, it was some good views because he was in the car. Yeah. And I'm like, and we love you to death, right? But did the car look hot? He looked hot in that car, right? Like that was the first. That was like I noticed. I was like, man, I hope we make it because it look, you know, and then if you turn the AC on, it's going mess up the sound. So I don't know if he had it on or not, but I just was like, man. But we got a good episode in. It was really good. We had some funny stuff in there, a lot of educational stuff, things that we wouldn't have been able to know about or talk about. He helped us out with, and we couldn't get it done because of technical difficulties. Yeah. So it's not like that we haven't been recording. It's that some of the stuff that we've been recording was like messed up. Yeah. And I was talking to Dirk. Dirk was like, y'all need Saul back. And I'm like, yo, it's not even Saul. It's not even my fault. He was like, yo, you suck. Get Saul. Right? I'm like, yo, it's not even my fault. It's our guest. They don't, it's just, and it's not the guest fault either. It's just that people don't have all this stuff that, like, we both doing it. We already ready to do it. Remember, we even talked about sending podcast kits out to our guests. Like, hey, man, here go a mic. Here go a little laptop, man. We going to call you up. So that was our first guest. What about our second guest?
So the second guest, man, first off, he was ready, though. He was ready when it comes to, like, it was going to be a good episode. I could tell, man. He had a nice little spot. He had like a little nice little spot where he was going to do it at. But he was having some issues, man, also with some technical issues with having the equipment and stuff, right? I'm trying to remember what he had going on. Oh, so he couldn't, I think, was it the internet? No, it wasn't the internet.
The first issue was
headphones.
He couldn't get on. No.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, he couldn't get on.
So we was like a podcast worth of time in.
Yeah,
and the first issue was he couldn't get on. Well, it was a couple, like even before the issue, we were supposed to record a different date. Yeah. But it was some issues in the date, right? Yeah. So we didn't record, right? So those of y'all that be like, damn, where the pod at? Where the pod? It's times we recorded and wasn't able to put the pod out. And then there's times we had plans and we just couldn't do it. So we pushed it a couple weeks. I think he had to go to Vegas, do some other stuff. So we came back. We went to record, and then he had an issue just getting into the studio, like getting into that. Cause that's what they call it. So he had an issue getting into the studio, and then after he got into the studio, it was the audio, his headphones, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Then and the first, it's funny because the first headphones, they wasn't good, but then the second headphones was worse. And then we couldn't get back to
the other one.
The quality of style of the
Yeah.
first headphones. So he left that room, right? He left that room. He went to another room that he thought had better Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
And it was just technical. Again, it was technical difficulties. We look forward to recording with both of the guests again.
Yeah.
And we hope we can. We just need to plan it better. We ready for this. We done prepped up. We got mics. We got headphones. We got, cameras. So we prepped up. But sometime when it come to having guests, we not prepped up. And I tell them simple, hey, all you need is a laptop and a headphones. And most people, I can make it work. And I don't think we can accept I can make it work no more. We got to make sure that our guests set up. Yeah. So we probably need to hit them up the Thursday before or something like that.
Yeah, and we most definitely will not start that podcast until we got everything good to go, man. I'm really upset about the one with the. I was upset about the one with the CMC though, because of the fact that we recorded 2 hours and something.
Yeah, it was good content, real good.
And then found out his shit didn't record. That was crazy.
Yeah, it was good. It was the sun was out too, man.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I really noticed from the pod. It just it looked hot, man. It did outside. And just for him to just sit with us the whole time. I appreciate that.
And I want to throw one more thing out about the CMC though, man. He had his phone, man, he was recording. And I just want, this is all love, man. His phone fell 5 times in that. His phone fell in his lap 5 times, man. I was oh my goodness.
He left. Remember, he left a couple times and came back. He left and came back. We had to line it up. So it could get bad. You know what I'm saying? If you don't got a laptop, a Wi-Fi connection, or a microphone or something like that. But all in all, good stuff. We can't wait to catch up with those guys again. And I guess we should go right into the Bonhomme Richard and the latest information on that with a seller officially being charged. Right?
Yeah, man. Well, we all know, man, the Bonhomme Richard was like crazy, man. It's something in my Navy career of 20-something years that I never seen when it comes to a sailor actually doing something like this. You always hear the Strono sailors, you always hear stuff like this, but someone actually, going through at this magnitude, and how much those ships cost, man, and that ship is done, so I never seen nothing like this. But to get the meat and potatoes of the story, this guy was I think he was a SEAL dropout, if I'm not mistaken. So real quick, man, I had a sailor like that though. I had a sailor that came to one of my ships. He was part of the pre-com unit, and so his story when he got to the ship was that the recruiters told, I guess he had a long wait time, become a SEAL, and as he waited and waited, this I'm gonna tell you guys this guy was already waiting 9 months to a year to get into the SEAL program. So then the Navy, the recruiters thought, this is his story, I'm just, paraphrasing it or whatever, sent him on into the Navy and said, hey, once you get to your command, your ship will, do it, your captain CO can sign off when you go in the buds. So his thing was he was going to get to the ship, do some paperwork, and then he was going to get shipped off to Buzz. And when he got there, and I'm like, that's not how this work. It ain't that simple. It ain't that quick. You know what I mean? He thought it was going to happen right now. When it wasn't, happening that fast for him. End up no time he's on the ship, man. We pulled in, we was coming from Maine. We pulled in Virginia, and I didn't even know this guy was going off the ship. He went off the ship, went to medical, and I never seen him again.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying, and what I'm getting to, and my point I'm trying to make is when those guys drop out like that and don't make it or anything like that, that's what they want to do in the Navy, and they don't want to do anything else. You know, they don't want to be a damage control. They don't want to be electrician. They want to be a Navy SEAL. You know, so maybe it's something that we need to look into when it comes to their mental. You know, so
yeah, because SEALs, SEALs, SWIC, like all of those special warfare people, that community, they are like some of the ones who join for the purpose. You know what I'm saying? Like some people join. We still got the era where people was like, yeah, it was jail or the military. You know what I'm saying? Or some people joined because they didn't want to go to college first. They wanted the college money. Some people joined for the American reasons. You know what I'm saying? Some people joined because it wasn't any other, thing that they really were doing in life. Some people lived a little life for a little bit and saw that nothing was going on and they made a decision. But a lot of the people that go to be SEALs, a lot of them wanted to be SEALs at like young ages, like single digits sometimes.
Yeah.
Like 8, 9. Like, yo, I'm going to join the Navy to be a SEAL. That's like going and being like, it's totally different, but it's, to me, it's comparable to going to want to be like a professional athlete. Like the preparation for doing those things start at young ages. Yeah. So you live your whole life preparing for something. Yep. And then you get in, something happens, whether it's a medical thing or, you just didn't make it through. And then you out and they tell you, yo, you got to be a DCman. Yeah. Or EM. You know what I'm saying? Like that wasn't what the person ever dreamed to do. You know what I'm saying? Like I never thought I would be laying under a garbage grinder, putting a white wire to another white wire. Like that wasn't my idea of the Navy. You know what I'm saying? So just imagine that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
And on top of that, man, think about a lot of time with these, just like you said, professional athletes, man, like they family, it's a family history probably behind it also. You know what I mean? His dad or his uncle or his brother or something was a Navy SEAL. Man, think about the impact of that. Like they made it and I couldn't make it. You know what I mean? That can take a little toll on somebody else.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, this is a devastating story, right? And we take nothing away from the loss, the impact, to the Bonhomme Richard and stuff like that. We're going to talk about that in a second. But I agree with you. I think we should think about some type of transitional program or something for when people do drop buds or get out of buds, and I don't know all of the terminology, but when those things happen, we need some form of transition. I've had sellers that was impacted by that, because a lot of times you get a seller that come to the ship, and it's almost like for some of them they do go back, but for some of them it's almost like a hoop dream. And I remember being a junior seller, E4, E5, and that undesignated seaman came. And like, hey, man, I dropped out of buzz. I just couldn't do it. But I'm going back. I'm going back. And I'm talking to the boys. I'm like, man, he not going back, man. It's over, man. Grab that swab. Let's go, baby. Yes, you know what I'm saying? Like you're not going back. You might as well pick a rate. Some people did go back. But some people don't go back. But it's just crazy just to have that in your head for like 2 years. Yeah, it don't matter what happens here. I could do this, I could do that. I'm going back. So it's a big thing, a big transition, in my opinion, that you making from your whole life mindset to like that whole thing being changed. And maybe I understand we got to do what we got to do. This thing happened. Ryan Sawyer Myers is the kid's name. This thing happened. It's something that we have to, legally, hold them accountable for and stuff like that. The second, my second thought on this is, what do we do about buzz drops and like how do we like help them transition, especially with mental health being like so much at the forefront, operational stress and all of that stuff being at the forefront of like mission right now. Well, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I tell you this, man. Like, so before we get too deep into that, I want to say this: if it's a program that's already out there and we just don't know about it, if somebody can, hit us up and let us know, because it could be something out there for buzz dropouts, and we just don't know. I know I never heard anybody say anything about it as they came, to my ship or whatever. But if it is a program out there, let us know. because I know it's a big deal, man, when these sailors do come to the ship. Because you're right, man. They either want to go back. That's their main thing. They either want to go back or they want to get out. Or they disgruntled or something.
Yeah,
so,
they don't even want to be there.
Yeah. So it is a big deal, man. So if it's something out there, please let us know, man. I'd like to read up on it, man, because I most definitely know every encounter I done had. It's kind of with some mental issues. And back then, this mental thing wasn't like as big as it is now. We meet we be like, okay, hey, what can I do to help you? But now I know a lot more about this. I can send you somewhere. I can go tell you this. So I most definitely like to be educated, in that, if you guys got anything for the Bulls dropouts.
Yeah, let us know so we could talk about it on here.
Yeah.
The second part of this is just this headline that I'm looking at right here. This is the Washington Post. It says the sailor accused of starting a destructive ship fire was known for hating the Navy, investigators say. And now that's another thing that's like, to me, it's another one of those is not a thing until it is a thing. Things. Because, and a lot of these conversations we talking, I'm not like talking about as senior sailors, as, you being a senior chief, us being khaki. I'm talking about like your whole duration of time you spend in the Navy. I would be lying if I said I never heard somebody say they hated the Navy. And we do this for every branch of the military. We just happen to be in the Navy, so sometimes it sounds real Navy centered. But I'd be lying if I said I never heard somebody say they hated there. And I never took it like they would set the ship ablaze. You know what I'm saying? But that's what I mean by it's not a thing till it's a thing.
Yep.
We hear people say that a lot. Like, yo, I hate, that's like a new slang now. I hate it here.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, what about you? Have you ever heard somebody say they hated being on a ship, the Navy, anything like that?
Man, I have heard sailors say that all the time, man. Everywhere we go, man, every ship. And I think it's more towards, the ship schedule and underway, being away from family, being all this stuff. And sailors said, man, I hate this. I don't want to be here. All this type of stuff, man. But you're right. Until something happens, that become a headline, So it is what it is, man. But I don't think we should be using that. Same thing with being a UI, like you was talking about earlier. Being a UI, it's not a thing until it's a thing.
Yeah, anything till it's a thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But what about like holding people? Real quick story. At one of my commands that I was at, we had a dude that didn't want to be a works in a suit, right? He was like, yo, I don't want to be a works in a suit. And I'm like, okay, you won't be. You know what I'm saying? I was the LPO. I'm like, all right, he'll want to be a works in a suit, but he won't be. I mean, I don't think he's going to do the greatest job at it. I had went to one of the officers about it, and this officer was like, no, make him the works in a suit. I'm like, yeah, but he don't want to do it. I'm not going to make him do something that he don't want to do. And there's like, no, make him the works in a suit. He don't got a chance. He don't have a choice in the matter.
Yeah. So
I made him the works in a suit. He sucked at it. He was garbage.
Of course.
He wanted to be garbage. He wanted to suck. So eventually, things start happening with the work center, and they like, well, what's up with your work center? Like, what? I'm like, well, my work center soup is trash. They like, well, fire him. And I'm like, well, I should have never hired him. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I made somebody else that works in the soup, and we did great. Same page. Eventually the whole division got investigated, but that's a completely different story that I think I told already. But the other dude, Bacada, works in the soup, and he was a decent works in the soup until the investigation. You know what I'm saying? But it's just a whole, my whole thing, because it says in here, it says known to his leadership for showing disdain toward the Navy, right? And that's about this Mays guy, right? Known to his leadership for showing. Do you think that like we take like, and I mean, and a lot of times we talk, so I ask you these questions. I would ask you these questions if me and you was just together. Yeah. It's not like I'm interviewing you. I hear somebody say, "Hey, that person you was interviewing." I'm like, "Nah, that's a," you know what I'm saying?
That's how we talk.
Like we co-host. But what happens when somebody tell you what they don't want to do? Like, do you take that on board, or do you try to force them to do it, or is it a matter of the seller? Like, is it a matter of the person?
I think it's all of that, man. I think it's
Yeah.
all of that, you know. But I tell you this, man. I think if I can give you an example. If I had a second class and I didn't have anybody else, you know, to do the job, I think differently about saying, I'm not going to let you do it then. You're not going to do it. Now, I'm more be like, no, man, you the guy. You know,
Yeah.
you got to get it done. But if I had multiple second classes, I'd be like, okay, I give it to another second class or whatever before it works in a soup. But I'm also in the back of my mind, I gotta be on top of it a little bit more because I know this guy don't want to do it. So it's kind of like my think about how I think of it anyway. But you most definitely, I agree with you with putting somebody in a position and they don't want to do it. You already know that's not going to be the greatest job probably. You know what I mean? He ain't going to put out the greatest product automatically because he don't want to do the job. So you most definitely got to think about that. But you also got to know that this guy getting paid too, though. You know what I mean? He paid to do a job. So you got to kind of judge that. You kind of situational. You know what I mean? You know the situation when you're there. Shit, sometimes, yeah. And you know this
you
better.
Motivate.
Yeah, you
right?
better. You know this better than anybody when I say sometimes you may have to do the job. You know what I'm saying? Like you say, sometimes you tell him like, no, hey, he not gonna do it. Freak, I'm gonna do it. You know what I mean?
Right.
I just do it. You know, so sometimes it's like that too. So most definitely a situational thing.
Yeah. We Dag, I forgot what I was gonna say, but I had another incident, you know, where somebody didn't want to, you know, do a job, but you know, you could motivate them.
Yeah.
If you know that's in them. If you know it's in them, you could get it out of them. But if it's not in them, you might be doing more work trying to make somebody do something that they not passionate that they not passionate about.
Most definitely, they could be fucking some shit up. You got to go back and redo because they don't want to do it, and they ain't got time for all that shit. I really do it myself.
Now, here's another question about this Bonhomme Richard thing, right? And it's just something that's in my head. Is this guy the only person that knows about this before it happens? Is this spur of the moment, or does he have a friend, somebody that know like that he want to set this ship ablaze?
Yeah, I tell you, if I was, you know, just opinion, it's my opinion. It's never like that. I never see this guy, you know, being 20 years old and came up with all that. I don't say came up with it, never talked about it before and just woke up one morning and just set the ship ablaze. He talked to somebody, you know, somebody else, you know, it may not come out. We may never hear about it, but I can, and the thing about that, and it also could be one of those situations where we just talked about when it become a thing. He could have been just talking to somebody, bullshit. No one took him seriously, you know, and then he just fucking did it, you know.
That's
so
crazy, man.
I don't know. I never say he never talked about this before because I'd be like, okay, buddy.
Yeah, this happened on a Sunday, man.
Yeah,
this happened on a Sunday. I think I was on duty that day too. I was either on duty or we was coming in to get underway. It was something like that.
Well, we was,
like, but
I was on the ship. We was deployed. I know that.
We were underway.
I think. Well, I don't know who was on the way. I know we was out there. We was deployed when it happened because I remember. I want to say it was when I come. I want to say it was like June, right, when it happened.
Yeah, I think I don't want to get.
Yeah, I don't want to get into dates, but
yeah, I think so.
Man, we was
somebody
deployed.
probably listening like,
yeah, exactly. But, I think it happened, and I remember we was talking about it on Watch or some stuff. Man, was happening because it was talking about people was, you know, when other ships was going there and stuff, you know, helping out and doing all that stuff. That's what I remember.
Yeah. So it's another thing that I want to do on the top of our podcast that it's going to be a surprise to you actually right now too. But I want us to like start like reading off citations of different like merit awards for different sailors or Marines or anybody that did something crazy, like honorable. And I want to start off with Michael Murphy's. So I'm going to take a second. I'm going to read his citation. And then we could talk about it. Like I said, I know it's like a shock. And, you know, it ain't something we did in pre-pro, but I wanted to feel like that for a second.
Yep.
So I'm going to read a citation real quick. It's a couple words in there for the listeners that I'm going to mess up, but this all in respect to Michael Murphy. So, all right. So here's the so this is his Medal of Honor. This is his Medal of Honor. And here's the citation. So bear with me for a second. For conspicuous gallantry and intrepidity at the risk of his life above and beyond the call of duty as the leader of a special reconnaissance element with Naval Special Warfare Task Unit Afghanistan on 27 and 28 June 2005. While leading a mission to locate a high-level anti-coalition militia leader, Lieutenant Murphy demonstrated extraordinary heroism in the face of grave danger in the vicinity of Asadabad, Kona Providence, Afghanistan. On 28 June 2005, operating in an extremely rugged enemy-controlled area, Lieutenant Murphy's team was discovered by anti-coalition militia sympathizers who revealed their position to Taliban fighters. As a result, between 30 and 40 enemy fighters besieged his 4-member team. Demonstrating exceptional resolve, Lieutenant Murphy valiantly led his men in engaging the large enemy force. The ensuing fierce firefight resulted in numerous enemy casualties, as well as the wounding of all 4 members of the team. Ignoring his own wounds and demonstrating exceptional composure, Lieutenant Murphy continued to lead and encourage his men. When the primary communicator fell mortally wounded, Lieutenant Murphy repeatedly attempted to call for assistance for his beleaguered teammates. Realizing the impossibility of communication in the extreme terrain and in the face of almost certain death, he fought his way into open terrain to gain a better position to transmit a call. This deliberate, heroic act deprived him of cover, exposing him to direct enemy fire. Finally, achieving contact with his headquarters, Lieutenant Murphy maintained his exposed position while he provided his location and requested immediate support for his team. In his final act of bravery, he continued to engage the enemy until he was mortally wounded, gallantly giving his life for his country and for the cause of freedom. By his selfless leadership, courageous actions, and extraordinary devotion to duty, Lieutenant Murphy reflected great credit upon himself and upheld the highest traditions of the United States Naval Service. Right? Signed by George W. Bush. And I want to read them because, we talk about it, and we talked about it when we reviewed the movie. But we got real life superheroes. That was deep, man. That was, yeah. I mean, we watched the movie and stuff, man. And the movie was crazy too. On the stuff that the whole movie was crazy. Yeah. But you never know, man, when stuff is put on the line on what you can do and what you are capable of, man. Especially when you care about people, especially you care about your job. You just, man, you put in that position, you want to be the best, you want to win, and you just don't know, man. I'm sure before that day started, they never thought they was going to be in that situation they was in. But, man, when you got a team that you that humble with, and you with those guys, man, you're going to do anything in your ability to, try to survive or try to help them in any way, man. So, that was a huge, citation, man. And yeah, you're right. I didn't know we was gonna be doing this, but at the same time, man, hey, that shit's powerful, man. That's just powerful. And then a lot of times we know he got the medal on it, but we don't go out there and read citations though. You know what I mean? We ain't have to read them, so that was pretty good, man. I like that. And it goes along with the story we just talked about. Like, what would make somebody go from potentially, showing that kind of act of heroism to what happened on the Bonhomme Richard? Yeah. How do we tap into transitioning a sailor from feeling like, man, I could be like Michael Murphy one day. That's sacrifice for your country. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? The greatest sacrifice of all, your life. You know what I'm saying? For your country, or just the people that you with. In almost like a parent like death. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's your potential, and then you carry out, burning a ship, causing like $240 some million worth of damage or something like that. Man, what has to crack in your head for that, to be the, the end result.
Man,
You know what I'm saying?
I was locked in on that citation you was reading, man. I felt like, man, like every day before when I was on the shift every day before quarters, man, I felt like I should be reading that, man.
Yeah.
Man, that's powerful, man.
Yeah, and that's why I want to do it, man. I'm sorry for the surprise, bro.
Yeah.
But that's why I want to do it because I know we talk a lot, man. We talk about military stuff. We talk some stuff about just real life stuff. But we in this thing, man, and we proud to be in this thing, and we proud to be in this thing because of people like that.
Yeah.
And I want to read that off so people could be reminded of like what people that was in this same thing that we in, which is the United States military, like did, like who they were. We picked the popular name, Mike Murphy, but that
so
impact
many
is
more.
still the same.
Yeah.
And it's a whole lot more. So every episode, the plan is to give you, another one of our heroes. Because we got real life superheroes. We don't always gotta talk about Marvel, stuff like that. We got some real life superheroes.
Most definitely.
Speaking of accomplishments and awards and citations, we got some advancements.
Yeah, man. I want to talk about that real quick, man. Like, first and foremost, congratulations to you.
Thank you.
And then I'm gonna say it, in my own way, in my own fashion. I'm not surprised. You know what I mean? I know the work you put in. I know the things you do on a daily basis. Work with you side by side. So I'm not surprised on you making, Senior Chief. Actually, I'm more surprised that you didn't make it last year. To tell you the truth. But man, great job, great accomplishment, man. It's not a lot of people, in the military get where you at right now. So keep pushing, keep doing your thing, man, and you're gonna, be even more, be great, man. You can be Master Chief, in no time, man. So just keep doing what you're doing, though. You don't have to do nothing extra. You don't have to do nothing. Just be you, man. You'll get where you're going, man. So no doubt, man. Good job.
Yeah. Thanks, bro.
There's a lot of other people out there, that made it. It's a lot of people that didn't make it, right? But we just gotta, I know I did make Master Chief. And I sopped about it for a little while, man, about 24 hours. Then, I jumped back in the game, man. But with that being said, though, I know I said, I don't know who I said this to. I was talking about it one day, and I was talking, man, sometimes I wish they had like some feedback.
Yeah, me and you talked about that too.
On the board. But I talked to I talked to somebody about that. I talked to somebody else about it too. Mm-hmm. And they was like, well, that's what they got. They come out with the precepts. They come out with, it tells you, fully qualified and qualified. But man, that really don't tell you a whole lot. To me, in my opinion, that don't tell you, a whole lot about me being a damage controlman or whatever the case may be. You got the ladder out there, but I mean,
precepts and feedback. And I wish we had somebody to correct me right now, like somebody to correct me, some Master Chief, whoever. But precepts and feedback is two different things.
Yeah.
Precepts is telling me, in my opinion, precepts are telling me the basic things that I need to have.
Yeah.
Fully qualified is a really broad statement, right? But precepts is telling me the basic things that I need to have. Even the ladder. The ladder is a little bit more defined, but a lot of that stuff telling me the basic things I need to have. In my opinion, and I need somebody to correct me on this, please do. If I looked at the precepts and I stack myself against another person and we both stack up exactly the same in accordance with the precepts and the ladder, but only one of us make it, then I need feedback after that. And that's my opinion on that. Like, I need feedback after that. If we both fall into everything that those precepts say, everything that the ladder says, I'm going to need feedback. Yeah. I had a bachelor's. Did this person have a master's? Like, I'm going to need some kind of understanding. And I'm not saying that. I'm not speaking for myself. I'm not necessarily speaking for myself, but I'm speaking for maybe the way somebody else might think. Yeah. Like, that the precepts is how you get into the party, bro. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, I got it. So this is what we need. This is the ticket. This is how we get in the door. But how do we get the prize? How do we all right, if we leave, without it, like, what do we need to know we need to do better? Because then you get to a point, like, for instance, for you, like transitioning from a ship to like a shore command, if you and again, I'm not speaking about you and your situation.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna speak in like a general sense. So let's say I'm a senior chief and I leave a command and I'm the number one EP at that command, right? And I did everything I had to do as a senior chief. I had some DLCPO experience. I had some season experience. I did what I was supposed to do in the mess. I acted as the CMC for a bit. And all of that stuff is documented. I got everything, training team, boom, boom, boom. All of that stuff. I'm going to shore duty. A lot of that stuff I was doing it at sea duty, I'm not able to do at shore. I'm not going to be able to do it at shore duty. But those results coming out like right after my number one. Like, so I submitted, the board could see that number one EP. They could see all that I did. And now, if I'm thinking strategically, I'm thinking like, if I make it right now, if I make 9 right now, then I'm good. Like, this was well-deserved. I'm not really worried about this next eval. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because that's something that I was thinking about. We talk about myself in a second. But that's something I was thinking. I'm like, I'm brand new on shore duty. I'm not going to do enough. This next eval going to be kind of nasty. Like you know what I'm saying? Now when they looking at you, they looking at like everything. But like most people that say like sea duty has more value than shore duty when it comes to advancing, especially when you get up in this khaki, khaki thing. So what happens to somebody going from like you trying to go from 8 to 9, coming off a number one EP, going to shore duty, being that new guy, knowing you're not about to have, none of that kind of stuff. Yeah, you might be looking forward to like, man, I'm going to make it, hopefully I make it this time because what you about to do this time? you know what I'm saying? I mean, and the biggest thing is you continue to do you continue to lead sellers, you continue to do stuff, but when you get a good shot at something, like
and that's the biggest thing normal. Too. When you got a shot, man. Like, and I know some people out there gonna say, "Oh yeah, I made it with a P, I made it with an MP." Mm-hmm. I got it. I mean, I understand that, but you also know, I also know when I got my best shot. You know what I mean? I know my best shot. Because one thing about you start coming up for 9, they're not making it with my rate anyway. They're not making but 1 or 2. A year, and this year they made more than that. So I was like, most definitely thought I had a little bit of a shot, but but you always got people out there going over and beyond. I don't know what these guys did. I haven't, fleet temps. I haven't looked people up and doing all that stuff yet.
Stalkers.
Yet. But that's good for them, man. Congratulations to those guys though, man, because
congrats everybody that made E89. The petty officers that advanced as well, because we didn't get an opportunity to talk about any of them. So congrats to all of y'all. What I do want to talk about is just like I think people confuse, and I talked about it a little bit when I did get pinned to senior chief, which I'm very proud about. But on the other hand, it's a part of my job. It's a part of I was talking to my wife's brother about it. Like when you walking up the steps, are you climbing a mountain? Your goal is to progress. Is to get to a higher level than the last level. Else, in my opinion, why would I be walking up the steps? You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people be super surprised that they made rank and all of that. And sometimes I think people confuse like humility. Well, they think like confidence and humility like our enemies. You know what I'm saying? Like, in my opinion, confidence and humility aren't enemies when you're working to get what you're supposed to get. You know what I'm saying? I had reshared like a post when this dude was like, man, the next time I get an award or something, I'm not going to say, man, they gave your boy I'm going to say, no, like I worked, I put in hours, I put in days, and I earned this thing. You know what I'm saying? So that's a big thing, man. Now, humility is me saying that somebody was on my Facebook, and you just said it too, but somebody was on my Facebook and they was like, yo, this announcement is a year late to me. And I'm like, in my opinion, I'm not really thinking about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that ain't how they promote. For me, it's right on time. You know what I'm saying? A year late to that person, but for me, it's right on time. Like, I couldn't have asked for it any earlier. This is right on time. And I appreciate it. It's something that, you know, and I'm still working, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, hopefully that work that, you know, we doing, hopefully, you know, I'm able to put on Master Chief from the work based off the work that I'm doing and the progress that I'm trying to make and the things that I still want to do. You know what I'm saying? And I think people confuse it because they want to, like, some people want to be like too humble, like yo, just, you know, I really don't care about, you know, promoting and none of that. Like, we come up from sports and athletes and stuff. We still people at the end of the day. You know, my heroes are athletes that work the hardest to achieve the highest of goals. You know, your Tom Brady's, your Kobe's, your Jordans. You know, we putting in work, and when you put in work, you work to achieve, you know, high goals.
Yeah.
You don't work to be surprised that you won a championship.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like Tiger Woods surprised that he won the Masters or whatever.
Nah.
Like, man, I didn't even expect it. You know, I wasn't doing nothing to get this. Like, no, we working to, you know, to achieve stuff. You know what I'm saying? So let's be humble, but let's kind of give some credit to the work that, you know, we do and stuff like that. I remember when Snoop Dogg like won an award and he thanked himself.
Yeah.
He thanked himself for all the work that he put in and all of that stuff.
Damn right.
Yeah, you got to thank people. You know, my wife, you know, she been a big supporter of mine. My mom, she was there when I got pinned. Actually, she been a big supporter of mine. Everybody that I've come across, you know, since I've been an E1. I had a CMC that told me to toot your horn sometime.
Yeah.
Right? She was like, toot your horn, Master Chief Langjans, actually. She was like, toot your horn sometime. I had another CMC that, you know, just groomed me from like Sue Whitman, actually. She groomed me from like the lowest level of my career. You know what I'm saying? So even the CMCs, you know what I'm saying? Just being close and listening to them. My officers, everybody I've ever come across, I appreciate. Every junior seller, everyone. You know what I'm saying? I've had priceless conversations with junior sellers on the ship that we just left. Priceless conversations. Man, the seller told me, and he always listened to the podcast, like all the time, like one of our biggest listeners.
Yeah.
But we had a conversation. He probably won't even know till now the effect that it had. But he had a conversation. He was like, yo, Chief, like, and this is me and him just talking, but he's like, yo, everybody not going to like agree with you. Everybody not going to like you. You know? He's like, no matter what you are trying to do, no matter what you setting out to do, whatever your mission is, everybody not going to agree with it or like it.
Yeah.
You know? And he wasn't like, it was a part of our conversation, but so he wasn't like scolding me in that conversation. We were just having a conversation, but I took that. And I'm like, man, like, I can't please everybody. Like, it's no way, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
I
can't.
And that's not even just military, man. That's in life, period, man. In every workforce and everything you do in life, you're not going to be able to please everybody. So I most definitely agree with that. And
then people are dynamic. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, even if you got a relationship with your family, you're gonna like them sometime, and you're not gonna like them sometime. like that's the thing about life. So I can't imagine that, you know, not happening at work.
Yeah.
But you know, let's you know, I don't want to get to, you know, talk about crying again. We talked about that on the last. By the way, but I do want to talk about Josephine Tauoa, right? Josephine Tauoa, Master Chief.
Big
CMC.
Deal. Big deal.
Yes. CMC Josephine Tauoa. So we had advancements announced. We had, you know, khaki advancements announced. But then we also had the Delbert D. Black Leadership Award announced. Right. And then went to Command Master Chief Josephine Tauoa. And it's one of them things we talked about, right, when we was on a podcast with Master Chief. Hey, I don't want us to go without talking about it.
First off, before you keep going, I want you guys to say we brung this up like 2 episodes ago, you know?
Yeah. We talked about this.
Don't think don't think it's like, you know, nothing like that. We did talk about it like 2 episodes ago. We just didn't get a chance to put that out.
CMC at a Chang'un, right?
Yeah.
So she jumped, and like all of this stuff that I'm about to say stuck out to me. Every part of it, right? Because the first thing that I'm reading is that she got the Delbert D. Black Leadership Award. So I'm an engineer. I'm reading the Master Chief got the Delbert D. Black Leadership Award. Me as an engineer, from past to present, you know, whenever I see something like this, I always think, all right, CMC, aviation. You know, I always think that, like, all right, this is Command Master Chief winning awards, aviation. You know what I'm saying? So just as an engineer, I'm like, cool. But and it's crazy because some of my CMCs wasn't aviation, but that's always what I think. So USS Chang'un joined the Navy in 1996. Right? That stuck out. We'll talk about that later. A snipe, right? She's an MM. That stuck out. Right?
Yep.
She did a tour as a RDC. She made chief in 2013. 17 years after she joined. That stuck out. Right? Senior in 2016, 3 years after. And that's cool to me because that's one of them things where, for me, I never really get crazy about how long it take to make one rank, because you might make the next one like first time up if that's where you deserve to be. She was a 3MC on a Halsey. That stuck out. The CO selected her to be the top snipe. That stuck out. She made Master Chief in 2019. She has a master's in organizational leadership, and she was selected as the Navy's first woman Samoan CMC on February 26, 2020. And that info is straight from her bio, right? But so let's start with joining the Navy in 96. She's been in for a while.
Yep. 25 years now. I love it.
Yeah, and it's 2021. She made Master Chief in 2019. So it ain't about the short play. You know, a lot of sellers, and that's the first thing stick out for me. Like a lot of sellers, I got a boy who made Senior Chief with me, and we went through season together, and he had 7 years in when we went through season. He was a 7-year chief. So now he is Senior Chief. So he like a 10-year Senior Chief, something like that, 10, 11-year Senior Chief, something like that, right? So he got 9 more years to make Master Chief or do whatever he got to do, right? He a GS. And he actually called me. I ain't even know he made it, but you know, when you don't know somebody made it, they'll call you.
Yeah.
You know, and congratulate you.
Yeah.
Like we
E?
and this my man.
GSE?
Yeah,
He a GSE?
He a GSM. He is GSM.
Whoa.
Well, now he a GSCS. But you know, when you somebody, hey man, I just want to say congrats, man. You know what I'm saying? You're like, oh yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, man.
I made it too.
We made 8 at the same time. We made 8 at the same time. Oh shit! Oh man, you
Congratulations
made it too,
man.
Oh yeah, but this is my guy though. But he definitely gave me that call. You know what I'm saying? But because he don't really do social media like that. So he made it in like 11. Reason I bring him up though, because a lot of sellers now they think it's a sprint, man. They think it's a sprint. No, it's a marathon, man. This is a marathon. It's a 20 to 30 year career. Yeah. Depending on, you know, what you're looking at. It ain't no sprint.
Yeah.
You know, she getting a Delbert D Black Leadership Award, 2096, 2019? What's that, 23 years or something like that? Something crazy. You know, that's it's something. But she getting that like a long time after. It's not like 3 years. Like it's not a sprint, man. Yeah. And so that's the first one. Joined the Navy in 96. Her being a snipe, that touched me because as a junior seller, I wasn't used to seeing like notable CMCs that was snipes. You know, I wasn't really seeing too many Master Chief engineers, period. You know what I'm saying? I don't think I've met an EMCM. I know they're around, but I haven't met one. You know what I'm saying? As an EMCS. At this point now, I haven't met an EMCM.
Y'all hear it out there, right?
What'd you say?
Now just making sure the world heard that, man. Saw them EMCMs come out, man, you know.
Yeah. If you're an EMCM, man, I need some mentorship.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Come talk to me. I need some mentorship, like 100%. We need to do a tea party or something like that. Whatever we do. But she was an RDC, which is just was cool to me. She's an RDC. But she made chief in 2013. So she joined in 96 and made chief in 2013, right? So 96 to 2006, that's 10 years, right?
Yeah.
So then 2006 to 2013, that's 17 years, right?
Yep.
Right? Yeah. I mean, we never claimed to be math experts, but yeah, that's 17 years. So she made chief in 17 years. We got some first classes, you know what I'm saying, that I know and I love. They wanting to make it now, bro. You know what I'm saying? Again, it ain't a sprint. It's not a sprint. It don't have to be a sprint. It don't have to be a sprint. And there's no reason why there's no real reason or no core reason why I'm saying that. But I'm just saying that so all my people that want to make it and like really disappointed when they don't, I'm just saying that so y'all know that. Like, it don't have to be a sprint. You know, I don't have to have made it last year. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I know what I deserve. I know where I'm going to be. You know, it's not like, yo, if I ain't make it last year, I'm never going to. I know. Yeah, most definitely. Last year, I knew I was going to make senior chief. You know, I didn't know when, but I knew I was going to make senior chief. Yeah. You know, that's why I'm working. That's what I'm at work. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm at work. I'm working. Like eventually, you know, we going to make senior chief. But she was a 3MC. MM 3MC, right? Now, like, because I don't want to take all of the speak time, right? So I'm going to talk to you about that. Yeah. Right? So you get a 17-year MM 3MC coming to your ship, right? And now take yourself out of your mind, because I'm going to ask you to think about just the general thought process of what somebody would be thinking. Not you, but somebody else. And we don't think about other people, but let's think about it for a second. A 17-year MMC, what's the temperament? What do you think that this person is probably going to do on this tour?
If they was coming to the ship 17 year, first I'm probably going to think you're going to always try to do a good job at your, because you're one of one there, right? So
3MC.
Yep. So the second thing you're going to probably try to do is get that E outlet if you don't already got it. You know, trying to get quals or whatever if you don't already have it. But a general thought, I mean, I don't know. I don't know that much about it, because when I come in and I see a MMC as a 3MC, I've seen that before. Right? Yeah. I have seen I've seen it before.
She was an MMC.
Yeah.
3MC.
So, yeah. So first I seen
No. She was a MMCS. Yeah, she's an MMCS.
MMCS, yeah. So I've seen that before. So my thing is, I never, you know, thought she'll come on board the ship and be the top snipe, though. You know, I have not seen that before.
Yeah. And then let me correct one more. I'm gonna correct one more thing. So yeah. She was a 20-year senior chief 3MC. Yeah. All right, that was it. So she made chief in 17, and in 3 years she made senior chief. Yeah. Went to the Halsey as the 3MC. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I seen those before, man, but I never would have thought she would have been the handpicked to be the DLCPO of engineering department. Now I say that because what I learned a lot, man, is the fact that sometimes we fall in the perfect spots, the perfect positions, and then things like that happen. Like, I don't know if somebody got fired from the top snipe position.
Yeah. We don't know
she was there. We don't know none of that stuff. But sometimes those positions, you know, fall for you, and it happens for you, and things work out.
Yeah. And it's meant for you if it happens. Yes, it's dope. You know, exactly. It's dope. She did great.
Exactly. But obviously she did a great job at being a 3MC, and she did a great job at being the departmental LCPO on board the Halsey, man. So, you know, my thought process, my thought process, you know, is like I can't wait to go meet her, because I am going to Hawaii, and I know we got the Chung Hoon coming up, so I'm most definitely gonna come back to the podcast. If I do go to that ship for the inspection, I'm going in there to meet her, and I'm gonna, you know, congratulate her and talk to her and stuff like that. Tell her I got a podcast too.
Yeah, let her know we need her, man. She just need to have Wi-Fi, a laptop, and something to talk on and something to listen
Most definitely, man. I'm most definitely going to let her know, man. That'd be a big deal, man, if we can get her on here and talk to her. So
you talk from, in my opinion, from your state of mind, from the Damon state of mind, right? You said try to get EL, all this, right? That's one state of mind, you know, and that's the Damo state of mind too. That's the way I'm going. But it's some people that if they go to a ship as the 3MC with 20 years in as a senior chief, they probably about to chill.
Yeah.
They probably about to be the 3MC, and I don't mean chill because I don't want to take nothing away from none of the 3MCs out there in the fleet. But they probably not going to go to this. It's people out there that it's probably it for them, y'all. I'm going to get out.
Yeah.
You know, I made senior chief. I did 20. This is my last tour. I'm not trying to do nothing extra. I'm good to go. I'm going to go ahead and ride this out, not stand watch. Probably not really do much. Probably be the watch bill coordinator for the duty section or something like that until like my last year. Then I'm going to get up out of here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not really hard charging. From what it looks like is she went the other route. You know, she went the Damon route, you know, and she had to go that route because the captain, I'm sure a captain is not left without a choice. Whether something happened at the top tonight, you know, or not, I'm sure a captain ain't left without a choice. Like if she wasn't going to, you know, fit the description, then I'm sure a captain has the ability to bring somebody else over.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And he didn't do it. He handpicked her to be the top snipe. And we don't know. The other top snipe could have left.
Could have been there.
Could have been a gap billet.
Who knows?
Yeah, could have sucked. Could have been a gap billet. Could have got injured, hurt, or whatever like that. But for some reason, captain handpicked her to be top snipe. And that's her coming off a 3MC. On a 3MC tour. So she might have been in the, like, this all things you think about. You know, she might have been in the spaces getting familiar with them before that. But I mean, that's just a good thing to take that alternative because like I said, it's another alternative, and that's chilling.
That's chilling. In my career, 20-something plus, I've seen 3MCs chill too. You know what I mean? I've seen that. You know, because 3MCs, and when I say chill, I mean stay in their own world. Because one thing, 3MCs, man, they do have a lot on their plate too. No doubt about that.
They got a lot to worry about.
I have seen them.
They got a lot to worry about. They don't got time to be getting into spaces and doing all that stuff. Yeah. Right? Yeah. So we left our last episode with a term that we never really got back to, and it was the wet down. Right? Yeah. Well, we did get back to it. We got back to it with Master Chief, and he gave us a really good like story of where that terminology came from. Yeah. Right? You remember the story?
Well, not really. He had a good story. I don't really remember the story though. But
it had to do with officers. And,
what I do know is though it was the wet down came from the officers, right? It came from the fact that they wanted them to look like they were seasoned.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, that's the story.
Yeah. So it's a couple different stories. One story I read about before. Where they take them to the ocean, you know. So when they come out of the ocean, they signal, they rank or whatever, looking more, you know, like they've been around for a while. I've seen where the wet down and also came from it was the last time, you know, they peers could talk to them, you know, in a certain way until that time they put on that rank, you know. Things like that I've heard. That would have wet down came from. But in 2021, wet down is a whole nother level now, man. Wet down is like, you know, you're going out, you pretty much going to a bar, you're pretty much putting a tab out to 500,000, whatever you want to spend. Yeah, and, you know, and you're getting a little toasted. You know what I mean? That's the 2021 went down. Well, I take that back. That probably 2000 went down.
Yeah, went down. Made, you know, strides in what it means at this point in time. Just getting drunk, you know, celebrating your advancement, stuff like that. I remember when Brian got when he made 8, man, and he was like, "Hey, bro, I'm gonna send you that invite to that wet down, man." And I'm like, "All right, man." And that invite never came, man. I don't think Brian ever had it. I don't think he ever had that. Hey, Brian, if you listening, I'm still waiting on the invite to that wet down, bro.
Me too,
I don't think
man.
He ever had it. Yeah. Remember he was like, yo, bros. Like, if I have it, y'all gonna be there, you know. I'm like, all right, you know, but I don't think it ever happened, man.
Yeah, still waiting on that, man. You know.
All right, so I went to the gym today. Right, I went to Planet Fitness. Right, who goes to Planet Fitness? People that want to save money. right? Military members that normally work out on base, but on the weekends, the base gym might be closed or it might be too far away, and you only want to spend $9.99 a month, something like that, to still get a workout in, right?
Yeah.
So that's who goes to Planet Fitness. And then other people that like to be recorded doing sit-ups on the treadmill or doing the wrong exercise on the wrong machine, right? So it's the judgment-free zone where they judge you if you're too strong, right? Right? So that's Planet Fitness for you, right? So the gym on base, you work out, right? You got to wear your mask, right? We're going to get in that for a second. But you got to wear your mask at the gym. But when you get on a treadmill, you could take your mask off, right? Did you ever drink like a cup of sweat before?
No.
What's up? Right? You never did, right?
No.
It doesn't sound like something you want to do, right? Like it don't sound like you want to drink a cup of sweat. In Planet Fitness, if you on a treadmill, you got to wear your mask.
Oh,
right? Now, most people in Planet Fitness, they probably running at like a 2 mile an hour kind of pace, right?
Yeah.
So they probably won't sweat, right? This is so. I feel bad right now for all the Planet Fitness hate that I'm spewing, right? But you not planning. I remember like when I was like deep in the running, and I know you've been seeing. I gotta continue to say this. I know you've been seeing me working out.
Yeah.
Man. I know you've been.
Yeah.
But I remember when I was deep in the running, I was at Planet Fitness, and I tried to crank it up to 9, and the machine kept automatically going back down, like to like 8 something. I'm like, yo, they got this machine rigged to where you can't go too fast. The treadmills in Planet Fitness also, the one I go to, are rigged to where it doesn't go over 999 when it comes to the calories you burn during the run.
Oh,
you know? So yeah. So my goal is normally 200 calories and like on a normal pace run. If I'm running like my normal basic run, 200 calories in 10 minutes, right? So burn 100 calories every 5 minutes and I'll be running for an hour. So I would be at like 1,200 calories at the end of my run as far as just calories burned.
Yeah.
And that's not true. That's just whatever the treadmill's telling me, right? And that's before my 5-minute cool down. But at Planet Fitness, when you hit 999, it stops. The counter stops. So you don't even see how many calories you actually burn. And the Apple Watch is horrible at telling you how many, calories you burn.
On
right?
treadmill too, yeah.
So Planet Fitness and Apple probably going to hate me after this. But it's all good to go, right? So I'm at Planet Fitness, and I got to wear a mask when I run. So Delta, screw you. I'm trying to curse less, right? So screw you, Delta variant. You know what I'm saying? I hate it. I hate COVID. I hate how we treat it. I hate how we feel about it. I hate how we combat it. I am vaxxed. I am vaxxed, right? We talked a whole lot about COVID in a whole lot of episodes, but it's a travesty. It should be against the law to run on a treadmill with a mask on, man.
Yeah, man.
It should be. I used to pack 8 masks, and I'm not lying or exaggerating. I used to bring 8 when it wasn't a choice, and before we got that little whiff of being able to take our mask off, I used to take 8 masks to the gym when I ran on a treadmill. So like every time I started sweating and drinking the sweat, I change mask. Yeah. I would switch masks, even though the Under Armour mask is incredible, right? But I would switch mask, and I would have at least 1 or 2 Under Armour masks so that my first 20 minutes and like my last 10 to 15 minutes when I'm super sweaty, I got the Under Armour mask on, right? Because the Under Armour mask will last longer with the sweat in the beginning, and then it's good to go. I don't get too deep into the scientific explanation of like the reason why I wear the Under Armour mask. But the Delta variant is here. Yeah. Right? It's looking like we're about to revert back to some of the old ways, man.
Man, let me tell you, man, like, it's Delta variant, man. I don't think this COVID thing is going nowhere, man. Like, period. I think this shit gonna keep mutating. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And keep doing what it do. I encourage everybody who's not vaccinated. I mean, I'm sure people out there that's their choice. I'm not trying to persuade you any kind of way at all. What I would say, look at the science, look at all that stuff behind it, look at who's doing what, look at CDC, look at all these websites. If you want to help make a decision, I'm not that guy to help you make that decision.
Right.
But it's people out there that I know from my circle, from people who I deal with, has still caught COVID and been vaccinated. But the difference from the circle I've been around that caught it, they have had mild symptoms. You know, they never been down hard, you know, or anything like that. So that's the only thing that I can even say about, you know, being vaccinated, not vaccinated, and all that stuff.
I'm vaxxed and I'm proud, bro.
Yeah,
I'm vaxxed.
me too,
It's
man.
crazy that COVID now is a topic of like division. Like it's some like platforms that like you got to watch what you say about COVID, man. This is a virus disease thing. Like I'm vaxxed and I'm proud to be vaxxed. I would never ever tell somebody that they have to get vaxxed ever.
Yeah, I will share this little story that I read on Facebook, man, from a nurse, man, and this is not to scare anybody or nothing like that, man, but she was on there talking about how like their ERs and they hospitals is full again, right? And she mentioned that, you know, people pretty much on a deathbed saying they wish they would have got vaccinated.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's crazy.
It's crazy, man. Like,
why'd you get vaxxed?
Because I'm gonna tell you, man, because, you know, I just believe in that stuff, man. I believe like I take the flu shot. That's kind of how I look at it, man. If somebody come down and you tell me, hey, if it's FDA approved, you know, all this good stuff, whatever, I'm like, you know, I'm not going to put my family in harm's way, not being the guy that go out there and not get vaccinated and something happens. And then I'm back in here thinking like, shit, we should have got vaccinated. Nah, I'm getting vaccinated. So, you know,
I tell you one of the biggest reasons why I got vaxxed in 1 second. I just thought about something. You heard about the whole 25% for people who caught COVID in the military for your medical when you get out? Benefits, yeah. We'll talk about that in the meeting.
What happened?
25%.
If you caught it, you get 25%?
Yeah, yo. I was ready to take my mask off for the
Hey.
day. I'm like, man, I might as well take the mask off.
I need to go. Let me get my paperwork and make sure I get that in my record, because I sure caught that bad boy, man.
And it's crazy because me and Angeline think we had it before it was like a thing to have. Yeah. And I can't even probably claim it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You know what I also think about, man, before you finish? You remember Davis? Remember Davis was running around saying he couldn't smell, couldn't taste nothing for like a long time, man? And no one know what was wrong with him. I think that dude may have had it too, man.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that.
It's crazy.
I remember that. So, all right, let me get back to why I got vaxxed.
Yeah.
I got vaxxed for one reason and one reason only. Quality of life. I got vaxxed for quality of life. I got vaxxed so I could walk into Planet Fitness and not have to bring 8 masks with me. Right? That's the only reason. I wasn't really too concerned about the health reasons. You know, at this point we were like underway and there was, you know, talks about liberty and if you're not vaccinated and stuff like that. But vaccinated and stuff like that. But I got vaxxed simply to be able to do more.
Yeah.
For the liberties.
Yeah.
So
I'm glad you brought that up, because now I'm more like, do that put your back against the wall to make people want to get vaccinated? Because there's certain things out there you cannot do. You cannot fly. You know what I'm saying? If you are not vaccinated.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, well, it's certain things you cannot do.
Travel.
You can travel.
Yeah.
But it's certain things you cannot do.
Contingencies to everything.
Yeah. So it's certain things you cannot do, right? If you're not vaccinated. So my question is, if somebody tell you, you know what, you can do X, Y, and Z if you are vaccinated, right? If you don't, X, Y, and Z can happen, right? Just like in the NFL, like if somebody, you know, you go down and a certain thing happen, they will fine you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You could do this, you could do that. That's all. You may not play in a game. If you don't play in a game, you don't get paid. You don't get game checks. You know what I mean? Things like this, you know, is that putting people against the wall a little bit? if they don't get vaccinated.
Yeah. Because I saw what the NFL was doing. So yeah, it's definitely putting people against the wall. You know, and I mean that's another. You know, that's like part of the whole quality of life thing. I never wanted to get. I'm the person that say if they give out a chip to like buy things, I'll probably have it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but a lot of people, you know, they got their own reservations. But I don't want to be inconvenienced. You know what I'm saying? So all right, let me go get the. But the point that I'm trying to get to is that with all of that said, and the reason why I got vaxxed and stuff like that, it seems as if we're headed back to it don't matter if you vaxxed or not.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, you're gonna give somebody a vaccine, right? And then you're gonna give them a card telling them they got a vaccine. But like, do you have to present this card when you go on to Planet Fitness? So now you got people like that might not even be vaxxed going places where they say you don't got to wear your mask if you vaxxed, and then these people not vaxxed, but they don't have a mask on because who's checking?
Yeah. But I tell you
Ain't
what, though,
that.
I had to have that mask when I went to the airport, man. I had to
Your
show
mask?
it. No, my
your card.
I had to.
Yeah. That makes sense. Airport makes sense.
You know.
Yeah, airport makes sense. I got that's a good reminder because I'm flying out to Vegas next week.
Yeah.
So I got to make sure I got mine.
Yeah,
but I know New York is starting to like. I think New York was starting to put out that you know you gotta have you present your card at different places.
Yeah.
You know, and people like you know, and this is just me in my opinion, of course. Yeah, that's an invasion. You know, that's invasion of privacy, which I kind of think it is. You know, but it's like, how else do you know? Yeah. There's no other way to know but to invade. And then why did they give us cards?
Yeah.
If you don't ever have to present the card, then why do you have it? You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it is an invasion of privacy, though. Yeah. I agree. Yeah. But it's either I'm gonna close this place down and nobody could get in here, or you're gonna have to show me something.
Yeah. We had to first. You know I thought we didn't have to show it because we had to what they call it. We had to upload it into the Hawaii. I wrote Hawaiian, so we had to upload it in Hawaiian app. So then we think, okay, it's uploaded there. We don't have to show it. And still, when we got there, man, we had to like show it. So you think about that too when you fly. You might have some out there that you have to up. If you don't do it like that, man, you be in a line long as I don't know what, man.
I'm about to look at the app now just to make sure I'm flying Delta. I'm about to look at the app now. Yeah. But it's like, for me, right, this is another opinion of mine. I feel like if I choose not to get vaxxed, then I accept the people that's not going to let me in their place of business because I'm not vaxxed. Yeah. That's my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm not going to fight it. Like, if you like, yo, I don't want that chance of, you know, corona, whatever, a fatality from corona, whatever. So I'm not letting anybody in that's not vaxxed. Me personally, I'm be like, okay, you know, go somewhere else. You know, me and my wife talk about it all the time. She's like, yeah, but it's some people that have the vaccine that still could, you know, move it. I'm like, yeah, but if everybody in there has it, then they just moving around between a bunch of people that has it. And it, you know, we already know scientifically it's like not as fatal if you have it and stuff like that. I'm not trying to get into percentages because somebody could be the family member of the 1 to 3 to 4 to 5, however many people it is that had the vaccine and still, you know, suffered a fatality. So I don't even want to, you know, hit on that kind of thing. But with that said, right? So again, that's an opinion, and we see a lot of division between whether it be about the virus, stuff like that. But a lot of people drive like a political kind of agenda with all of this stuff, right? So my question for you is, first off, we talked about this, but I want some clarity. Like, do you have like a political stance or any political stances that you're like, that you won't like budge about, like whether it be gun control or abortion, and I don't want you to get into any of them, but do you have any opinions about any of that? It's crazy because to me, abortion is not political, but no, I don't. It's a more human thing.
I don't. Okay. I never been into it, man. And I tell you this, man. I still like, even here. I have a friend of mine that stay down the streets, and he's on Facebook, and he be saying some crazy shit about political stuff and all this type of stuff. I don't care about that stuff. But we don't never get together and talk about that stuff. But sometimes though, you know a person a little bit more. Like you think you know a person until you hear their political beliefs and things like, oh man, like. Yeah. But things like, but me personally, man, like if I'm talking about anything about political something, I'll state my opinion on something. But I never get into whose side I'm taking and who's this and who's doing that. I never been that type of guy, man. I think about my family, my paycheck, how I'm gonna provide, how I'm gonna do this, and now if they do something out there that's directly affecting me, that may be a different story. But I don't never really see that. I see stuff that happens that directly affects everybody. You know what I mean? It don't necessarily affects me personally. So, I don't know. If it don't affect me personally, I don't get too deep into it.
Now, do your opinions waver though? Like, do you have if you got an opinion about something, is it easily waverable? I don't know if that's a word, but does it easily waver, or do you? You talking about if something different happened?
Or I stick to my.
No, like if somebody trying to convince you otherwise.
Oh no,
stick to your opinion.
No. I'm sticking to my opinion. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
All right. So that's pretty much where I'm trying to get at then. Because I'm seeing a lot of people like not able to be friends with, are like really just like excommunicado, like people that got different opinions than them nowadays, whether it be political or about some human or civil stuff. And I never been like that. Like I never ever been the person that like was like, all right, I feel like this about guns. He feel like this about guns. Yeah, I can't talk to him no more.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I've never been like that.
Me either, man. I never been like that. Ever.
I feel like people could feel how they feel. Yeah. Unless it's damaging. If it's damaging to like me, or if it's just damaging, period, then I might be trying to talk to that person and convince them like, hey, this is damaging, this is irresponsible. Boom. I've had conversations like that before. I had a friend that said something about Michelle Obama, about how she looked, and we talked. We had a conversation. I thought it was, and I don't normally do this for things that I'm not associated with. You don't normally see me saying rest in peace to even musicians and stuff that I really like. Rest in peace, Chucky Thompson. But you don't normally see me say that online. And this happened online. This was a long time ago. But my friend said something about Michelle, and so I think we DM'd, and I was like, yo, that's not the way to go, man. Like, that's disrespectful. That's a woman, boom, boom, boom. And he wound up recanting, and it came out that it was hate. It was hate, It's like, yo, yeah, she's beautiful. You know what I'm saying? And you're entitled to your own opinion. But when we going on, we talk about how people look and all of that. That ain't that's we not gonna move like that. And that's just my opinion. Like, her husband, the president, you don't agree with some of the stuff he doing. Yeah. But you're not about to talk about how she looked, especially coming from a man. Like, that's like a low blow to how this woman looks, and you never met her, you don't know her, you got nothing. She don't know you from a can of paint. You talking about on your platform, you got however many friends, followers you got, but we not gonna do that. So we wound up having a conversation offline about it.
Yeah, and that goes like Michelle. That goes to anybody, man. Like, if you don't know them, why you going at their head like that? I mean, I don't understand that point of view either, though. But and that's just my point of view of things too, though, man. I never been that type of person to go at people and talk about this and talk about that, because what it is, though, we get in these circumstances where we can't win the conversation, so I'm gonna go personal. You know what I mean? Like, I can't win, I can't beat you this way, so let me talk about your feet. Saying,
yeah,
talk about your toes.
Right. Like, it's like, all right, let's fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's like when you funnier than somebody or something in high school. Yeah. All right, let's fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, your mom ugly. Dang, my mom we gotta. And you might look at your mom like, all right, I gotta fight you, cause you're not gonna just say this about my mom. Yeah. But that's that. Now, I didn't want to do this, but that brings us into the Simone Biles conversation. That naturally flows us into this Simone Biles. So it's kind of old, it's kind of old, but it's never old, the topic when it comes to the mental health and like how much can you take and, all of that. But my main issue that I had with the Simone Biles situation when it was going on was the opinions of men, right? And a lot of men we have this thought process, right? And I'm gonna try my best to cover it all.
Yeah.
But a lot of men, we had this thought thing where we be like, well, what can we talk about? If the women saying we can't talk about this and this and this, we gotta respect this and this and this and this, then what can we talk about? Me personally, I think you could talk about a lot of stuff. But again, I'm not that much when it comes to social media. So I don't think everything is for your social platform. You know what I'm saying? Like for everybody to talk about and debate with you about.
Yeah.
But you can have thoughts and you can have opinions. But as a man, I've learned that some of my thoughts to kind of like, keep them in if I'm in the room with the women. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but more into, and I'm talking man, woman stuff. So some people don't even like people talking about man, woman stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm talking man, woman stuff, and not necessarily anything that got to do with sexuality, just man, woman kind of business. And one of the things I was seeing was like a woman would support Simone. Yeah. And then the man would say, how can you support her? Yeah. She this, she that, she this, she that. But as a young boy, as a young adult, and as a man, we talked about it earlier, all of my heroes were men. Yeah. Right? And that's just how the world groomed me to be. It was women that I looked up to and I knew were great. You know what I'm saying? At some time, I'm not really too happy with Oprah right now, but at some time Oprah was like one of the ones for me. Like, man, Oprah, and it's a whole lot more. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I just talked about defending Michelle, and I support everything she always does. But like heroes to me, like superheroes, like whether they be superheroes, of course, like Wolverine, Batman is my favorite, Spider-Man, but even the inspirational people, like from Malcolm X to Gandhi to Dr. King, music-wise, the Beatles, like John Lennon and all of them, Bob Marley, the hip-hop people, Nas, who just dropped a classic album, Jay-Z, to athletes, Kobe, Michael Jordan, like all of these people that I think about, it's when it comes to athletes and the heroes and all of that. They have like the Mamba mentality. Jordan had his mentality, and like, so I took that personally. You know what I'm saying? So like, but all of them had like a motor that didn't waver no matter what. You know what I'm saying? They were men, and I was a young boy. So my values, even in the athlete movies and stuff like that, Booby Miles and all that, like my values have always been based on those thoughts, right? So who I looked at as a hero, who I thought was great, was based off of these men that I, follow. I've never seen like, from my point of view as a young man, a woman regarded like the same way Simone has been regarded in her sport. Yeah. And I'm sure it's women that's done amazing in sports, like a lot, like Lisa, like we could talk about all of that, but I've never seen like just a clear, like, yo, she's the GOAT, this, that.
Not even a debate.
That I'm like, like I'm like watching her, I'm watching her like the same way that I would watch Tiger Woods, but it's still, as a young boy, all I ever looked up to as my heroes were men. So so I'm going to try to wrap up what I'm trying to say. So a lot of men I thought were based in their criticism off of what I believe our values were and are as men. Like, and not like the human values, are even considering the fact that we're not talking about Kobe Bryant. We're not talking about Tiger Woods. We're not talking about Michael Jordan, Tom Brady. You know what I'm saying? We talking about Simone Biles. She's a different person, period. Right? So that was my opinion, and I'm still kind of trying to be safe in it, because it's not a male woman thing, and I'm not trying to say like that a woman is not equal to that, but I'm trying to say that my idea of perseverance and all of that stuff came from like people probably not making the best decisions. Like Kobe still shooting with a messed up leg, Jordan playing with blood, like spitting up blood and stuff like that. They're not the best decisions to make. You know, you're taking risk, like health risk. You know what I'm saying? And I've done it. We've done it in the military to a certain aspect, like no sleep. We're going to, you know, crush this inspection and all of that. That's not always the best decision, actually.
It's true.
You know, so seeing men make those comments, you know, it just bothered me.
My opinion came where, first off, I'm a big deal. I'm a big fan of Simone Biles, man. For one, for what she do, period. The other one is for, you know, having the mental, you know, side of it to say, you know what, I cannot, you know, be my best right now. You know,
that's crazy.
I cannot be my best right now. Now, from a sports thing, right? And I was listening at the sports analyst, you know, talking about it. And first thing I heard one guy say was like, will Michael Jordan, you know, not come in the game 7, game 6, and will Kobe not do this, or all this stuff they were saying. And I'm more like this. First off, they are not the same sports, right? First off, you got a girl that's jumping off this thing a million way in the air and coming down, and her mind is not, you know, there. So I think there's a totally different, you know, animal when you're talking about Simone Biles, right? But think about that for a second, man. If the flipping and the things that the not just the Simone because she's a lady, because the guys too, all those guys go out there and do this event, and you're not there, you're not mentally there, and you go out there and hurt yourself. Then the conversation comes out later saying she wasn't mentally there. Think about how that sound. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like she come out there, she break her freaking leg or something, and then we found out later that she had some mental things going on. Then people would have been like, well, why she go then? Why she do it then? Right?
Yeah. When
you can identify that ahead of time, man, I give you all the credit in the world. She easily could have got back up in there and jumped and did her thing. People say, okay, well, she didn't do that good in the beginning. That's why she didn't want to do no more. Man, that's Simone Biles, man. This girl been doing it since she was a baby. You know what I mean? It wasn't about can she finish it, could she do it, or she did. And you know what, man? It's not about a woman and a man thing for me. It's about now bringing more light to this mental health thing, just like your girl, the tennis lady did, Osaka. You know what I mean?
Naomi Osaka.
It's the same thing, man. Like, you do not have to keep pushing yourself if you're not mentally prepared to do this. You can say, okay, you can hold back, say, wait, assess the situation, and then make a decision on what you want to do.
Yeah. Right.
You know, not just pushing forward and keep going until you break down and you in some mental freaking hospital somewhere. You know, so that's the type of level of respect I give them for saying, you know what, let me sit my butt down. You know, let me sit down and think about this for a second. You know, this is bigger than just, you know, me being the GOAT. You know what I'm saying?
Especially if it's like just to please like user number 17384 or air fryer 1365.
Yeah.
So that person could say something. So that person could say something good about you. That person that never even tried to do the whole that never even attempted to do the sport.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Like so this is what somebody said. I'm gonna leave their name, but it might as well be another user number person. So it says, fuck that. There are times you will be challenged mentally, physically, and how you handle these situations is who you are. Yes, she could have permanently hurt herself. But now he's talking about another Olympian who took a chance. But she pushed on and became a world champion because of it. It's this level of dedication that separates Olympians from playground heroes. And the Olympians are a celebration of this triumph over mind, body, and soul. Sometimes you have to prove who you are. Broken bones be damned.
See, that's some crazy shit right there, man.
And then he said, Olympians understand that there's purpose in pain. Like, what are we in Rome?
Yeah.
like this the same person that'll watch you fight a lion, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
I know, right?
Like you gonna watch me.
Hey.
Like you gonna watch me get into the middle of the Palladium, whatever it is, with a lion.
Yeah.
Bro.
And all the things he said, she's already that. You know what I'm saying? She already accomplished that stuff. You know what I mean? Don't say like she's an Olympian. She's already Olympian. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she's already proven her. She
ain't got nothing to prove no more. She is the GOAT. She don't have nothing to prove.
And then I read something from her. She said, I didn't have a bad performance and quit. I've had plenty of bad performances throughout my career and finished the competition. I simply got so lost. My safety was at risk, as well as a team medal. Therefore, the girls stepped up and killed the rest of the competition and won silver. Queens. Hence why we have 4 team members, because all of us can compete in team meets, not just me. I also have no idea how I landed on my feet in that vault, because if you look at the pictures, my eyes, you can see how confused I am as to where I was in the air. Thankfully, I landed safe enough, but I also don't think some of you realize I was supposed to do a 2.5, and I only completed 1.5 twists before it looks like I got shot out of the air. So that was, something she said. For anyone saying I quit, I didn't quit. My mind and body are simply not in sync, as you can see here. Then she's showing a picture. She said, I don't think you realize how dangerous this is on hard competition surface, nor do I have to explain why I put health first. Physical health is mental health. I'm supposed to do 1.5 more twists. She's supposed to do a whole twist and a half. So, that's what she was saying. And then I heard the Joe Rogan pod where he was saying she got like ADHD and she wasn't able to take her meds in Japan. So that plays a part into, the focus part of it too. I don't want to, get too much into that. I just want to stay on before we get off it, the other dude who made the post about just with Olympian shit, that's like a spectator, and that's why they got that whole man in the arena, that whole man in the arena quote. Like, man, you a spectator, man. You can't be trying to tell an Olympian who's proven herself
as an Olympian
over and over again as the greatest of all time in that field what they should be doing or how they should be looking at the field, in my opinion.
Yeah. I agree totally.
You know what I'm saying? I agree. But that's our values. That's our values. If I was looking at the Simone Biles with my value lens, you're not quitting. You're gonna stay up there no matter how. Now let's say she don't get let's say that she stays up there and just she either hurts herself like you already mentioned, or let's say they don't get the medal at all. And then it comes out that she wasn't, whatever the ADHD meds are, she wasn't in the right state of mind. Now she getting blamed. Now she's they could have moved somebody else in, and now you the reason why we didn't, get the medal. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly what she was saying too. Exactly what she was saying.
Yeah. You got to put yourself first, man. You have to. It's a lot of times as a young boy, a young man that I was trained, and I keep saying that, and I'm not trying to say it in a wrong way. Like, it don't have to do with male, women, sex, but I'm trying to say it in that way. Like, that's the way I came up, like as a young boy, to just put myself at risk all the time.
Yeah.
Like, yo, if we got hurt, we still playing the game. I remember I got my head cracked playing football, tooth out the mouth, everything. And I'm like, yo, like I still wanted to play. They had to walk me off the field. I had to go get gauzes, like all types of stuff. They had to walk me out. Like, yo, we still playing, because I saw movies that said that's what you. My favorite athlete. My jaw has never been the same after that. Yeah. But we saw people do it. Like, that's how you supposed to be. Like, I'm so happy that we move into a place where that's not cool. Yeah. And if Simone Biles, who's the greatest at what she does, is able to be like, that's what touched me, because it's times that I didn't do that. And we know the military is, at the end of the day, it's a revolving door, man. A 20-year career is a 30-year career is a revolving door. Like, somebody else gonna come in after you and do 30. Yeah. You're not gonna be the last MCPO. Yeah. You're not gonna be the last DCCS, EMCS. It's somebody else coming in after you and doing that. But it's times that I put my own mental, my own body at risk, just to compete, or just to and I mean, when I say compete, I'm like an inspection or something like that, just to be able to say that I did my all. You know what I'm saying? For what?
Same thing, man. And look, and you know I got a story about putting something in, you know, ahead of my health or something like that, man. So most definitely, man, it's what we do, is how we bring you the same way, man. Playing sports, it was go time, go. It don't matter what happens. We got to finish. We got to win. We got to whatever the case may be. But now, man, and I don't know if it's me being in the military, me going through examples of people having like no crap mental issues, you know, and think about, you know what, man, like I had to stop. I'm gonna tell you one thing I had to stop, man. I had to stop thinking that everybody was me.
Yes. Yes.
That's what I had to do, man. Everybody is not me. So I had to think about that for a minute, man. Like, what does that mean when I say that? You know, my thing is, and me and my wife had this conversation. Actually, we just had this conversation. Like, my mentality is like, just like we always talk about, I stay on the ship until the shit's done. I don't care what time it is. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I will freaking run to whatever. It don't matter what it is. I want to finish it. I want to do it. But everybody is not me. So now, for example, I'm gonna give you one example. A work center suit. When I was a work center suit, this is what I did. So now, my expectations of this work center suit is the same thing that I did, but that person is not me. Yeah, you know what I mean. So that's a difference, and that's what I had to learn, man. That everybody is not you. Everybody's not gonna do everything like you. Yeah. And everybody mental makeup is not like mine, and all that type of stuff you got to think about when you're dealing with other people, man.
I just learned that like 3 years ago by my first classes. I just learned that. Yeah. Like, he's like, yo, Chief, like, we don't think it's cool when you say when I was a first class. You know, and
I do it all the time too.
Somebody I knew a while ago told me that before, like, yo, stop comparing yourself to everybody else. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not a superhero though. Like, it's, you know, and then like as a chief, I'm coming in like, yo, when I was the first, I could have whipped this up in this amount of time. They like, Chief, man, like, we don't want to hear that all the time. Like, you know, and I'm like, all right, cool. Gotcha. All right, so before we coming up, it's getting late. We headed into the magic hour. I got one last thing. So that topic made me think about expanded operational stress control, but I'm gonna tuck that till our next podcast. I did just recently go through training for that, and I have a whole lot of opinions about that. So I'm gonna tuck that for our next podcast. The last thing that I'm gonna talk to you about is I was watching a Vanessa Guillen doc. Mm-hmm. We talked about it before. Yeah. I was watching a Vanessa Guillen doc, and we're going to talk about that. That's another guest story that I don't want to get into right now. But we're going to talk about the Vanessa Guillen doc. But I want to bring up real quick about something that they talked about. They was talking about the cameras, right? And just how primitive. They're like, yeah, we can't believe. Like, you know, they had like the 240p cameras, man, the joints you can't see nothing, like it's blurry, like some of our guest videos be, right? So they, you know, but they like, yeah, we can't believe these cameras were so. This is the American military, you know. And I'm looking like, oh yeah, they, you know, they the kind of like that. It's lit, like they the kind of cameras we normally, you know, have. Yeah. Like, this is the normal stuff. So it made me think about like all just every
stereotype
kind of thing, every stereotype that they put on us, man. And so I think the biggest two for me was like that I could fight real good. I knew how to handle guns. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, like I'm an electrician and I'm halfway decent at you know, at being an electrician. It's gonna take me a long time to troubleshoot something, right? But yeah, that's my job, my primary job. But it's like, yo, you know, I'll be watching something, John Wick or something, you know, my nephew or something. Hey, you know how to do that? You can whip like no, like I can't disassemble a gun and reassemble it in 8 minutes while choking a dude out, throwing a vase at another dude and elbowing this other dude, getting the gun back and shooting the dude. I can't. Like the military did not teach me that. Like I would be a victim if something like that happens. I would be a easy, especially with like my bad knee. Like that thing could get snapped real quick. I'm on the ground, like nursing it, and I would be a victim, like really fast. I am not a combat expert. at all. Like you're going to take me down if you have any type of tactical skill. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of them stereotypes that I definitely do want to clarify about the military. All of us are not SEALs.
Yeah.
Like all of us ain't it.
You're right, man. My nephew used to say the same thing to me, man. Like when I was like younger in the Navy, and I used to go, see him, and he used to always. It wasn't just the guns and stuff like that, man. But guns was a big deal because he played video games, so he had this gun and pull out. He said, "Oh, this gun do this good." Yeah, you know about? Nah, I don't know about that. Right, for one. and then he's like the same thing with. Huh? Yeah, he's the same thing with like different aircrafts. He plays like aircraft games. He's like, oh, this aircraft freaking got this type of missile and they got this type of deal. And I'm like, yeah, that's the you in the Navy, so I know you got a lot of. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, about none of that stuff. So, but you're right though, man. The technology wise, I'm letting you guys know, man. Technology. I'm talking about from technology from the computer side of it. Don't think our technology is great when it comes to computers. Don't think our technology. Yeah. Look. One thing you brought up to me, we don't even use chips in the freaking in the NEX. We don't have the chip machines, capabilities right? yet. You know what I mean? Think about that for a second.
That was old boy Parker. He brought that up. Yeah. But like there's no chips, man. Like we still swiping.
Yeah, man.
They got the joint covered up, and like you can't even like get it in there. Like we still swiping, man. And it's 2021.
And you know what else? I mean, we just hit up a couple things, man. Hey. For all the military, not just the Navy. If you're in the military, you listen to us. Hit us up in the comment box about all the stereotypes, man. It's man.
What's y'all's?
It's a lot. We're gonna bring it up next episode too, man. If you guys get some good stuff in there, man, we're gonna bring up those stereotypes in the next episode, man. For real, it's a lot of them out there.
Yeah, man. So I'm gonna take a second. You read a book?
I'm I'm a schoolboy now, man.
Yeah, Schoolboy Q, man. Schoolboy Q. I got a book, right?
Yeah.
And
we know you do.
You know, we talked about it in one of the Lost episodes, but I've been reading a whole lot of books. I ain't even get into the fact that Navy medical, in which I love the like more than anything else, Navy medical. I finally went to get my knee looked at, and when I went to get my knee looked at, they told me they really didn't know anything. We kind of talked about it, but they told me go to physical therapy. So that's where where the listeners would be. I went to physical therapy, and I left without getting any therapy. But I did get a suggestion to buy a book called Anatomy for Runners. So basically they were telling me that, my running form and the things that I practice are what messed my knee up. So my knee been messed up since September. So that meant that I needed to read a book. So I'm reading a book. It's called Anatomy for Runners. Thank you, Navy. Thank you, Navy Medical.
I need to read that too, man.
Yeah, they ain't give me the $17.99 that the book costs, but thank you. I'm gonna give my book review to the doctor when I finish. I'm not gonna leave it on here. So I'm reading a book called Anatomy for Runners. But the book that I want to read, and if you confuse all of that with sarcasm, I'm super, super pissed off that I'm reading a book right now instead of actually going to physical therapy for my knee. But I mean, that's what it is. But the book that I want to talk about is called I'm Your Emotional Support Animal, Navigating Our All Woke, No Joke Culture by Adam Carolla. We talked about it, like I said, on a Lost episode. I'm going to keep it real short. If you are sensitive to jokes or sensitive to like you super duper woke and you can't like read anything making light of anything or doing anything like that, don't read the book. I'm not even going to suggest it to you. It's a funny book by Adam Carolla. He goes like pretty much both ways on every topic. Some stuff, if you're conservative, you might think it's funny. If you liberal, you might think it's funny. Like he talks about Trump, but he says some stuff about Trump that's like good things that he think. Then he say some really bad things, that he think about Trump. He talk about people being able to bring animals on the airplanes. Like I never even knew somebody brought a pig onto an airplane saying it was their emotional support animal. The pig pretty much took a shit. The person in the pig got kicked off the airplane. Right? But that's all from, that's all stuff from his book. He wrote the book, I think like before Corona or mid Corona or something like that. But it's a cool book to read. It's funny. He's a comedian from The Man Show. That's like where he got famous from. But it's just a fun book. And that's just me being open and being able to listen to other stuff. I'm definitely not conservative or nothing like that. So that's just me being open and being able to listen to other stuff, having an open mind. If you don't have an open mind, please don't read the book.
Yep.
And I think even in the book, he still practiced a lot of like staying safe from talking about certain things. But it's just, he's a comedian. I wish he was able to, just be a comedian. But we got to be responsible in a lot of the things we say.
Yeah.
All right. So the movie is Unbroken.
Yeah, man. The movie, again, it was in our lost episodes too. We talked about it a little bit. But, the movie was I gave it.
Since we talked about it, I want to cut you.
No,
right?
don't cut
since
me.
We talked
no,
about it.
No, I'm gonna get it right.
Since we talked about it, right? Since we talked about it, and we were liberal and we stayed safe in the lost episodes. Let's not waste our time being liberal and staying safe.
Yeah.
I'm gonna open it and I'm gonna get you right back. That movie was trash.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna let you go.
Yeah.
That movie was trash. I ain't gonna say who directed it.
Yeah.
That joint was trash.
Well, the movie to me personally, man, it didn't have enough in it. Right? To me, it stayed at the same spots for so long. It wasn't no connection. It just wasn't something that I could finish, to be to be honest with you, man.
Your watch segment wasn't unbroken.
Yeah, man. I just couldn't finish it, man. It was bad, man. It was bad. So but I feel like the person who directed it and all that stuff, I hope they learn from it,
Angelina Jolie.
Yeah, I know. I think she learned from it, man. It wasn't
dope.
Yeah, it wasn't a good movie.
Angie,
man.
she dope. I call her Angie.
Angie
dope. I like her.
Angie,
I call her Angie.
Yeah,
I don't know her, but I call her.
Yeah.
I definitely call her Angie. But she dope. I like Angelina Jolie a lot. And then the Coen brothers wrote it from Fargo fame. So my surprise, because these guys are like geniuses to me when it comes to like movies and writing stuff.
But hold on. But the thing about the writing part of it, I think the storylines and all that could have been good though. It was just the movie, man. The movie.
So you think it's the way it was put together, then probably edited, directed it.
Yeah,
like nothing. It was a crazy story, right? The dude, prisoner, like lost at sea with like 52 days or something crazy like that. Found by the enemy. Who was it? Was it Japan at that time?
It was
found by the enemy. To World War II.
Yeah.
Found by the enemy. Prisoner of war. All types of craziness, abused, all types of stuff. They wanted him to like pretty much dance for the man, like do like some TV shows or something like that. It just got real stupid for him. Just real bad stuff, right? Definitely a real moving story, the true story, but just the movie, just like you said, nothing felt connected. You know what I'm saying? It's the kind of movie you use to test out your surround sound. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Just to see how it sound in the beginning, and then you just turn it off.
Yeah, most definitely wasn't a good movie,
man. So definitely, I'm gonna get that one. I ain't even gonna use our star rating for that movie. I'm gonna go 2 thumbs down.
Yeah.
On that, don't ever watch it. If you did like it, then you liked a bad movie.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I got nothing else for you. Yeah. You liked the bad movie. It wasn't good.
You just like Angie. You must just like Angie if you just watch that movie. Angie Jolie. The only reason you like that movie is just like her, period. That's it.
Yeah.
Wasn't a good movie.
Yeah. I love her.
Yeah. Well, yeah, man. Let's wrap this thing up, man.
Yeah, that's it, man.
Yeah, we're gonna be putting out a new episode. Hey, like we said before, we're gonna get that CMC and that recruiter back on here, man, because they had some good stuff to talk about, man. So we're gonna figure it out. We might have to send them a little kit. You know what I mean? To make sure they square it away.
Yeah.
But we'll most definitely get them on here, man. So, good episode, man.
Yeah, new listeners, old listeners, we love you. We can't wait to hear from you. We can't wait for you to hear from us again.
Most deaf.
Thank you.
Peace out. Mississippi, stand up.